Hello, my dear student friends. Hope all of you are fine and staying safe during this COVID crisis. Today, I would like to discuss a very important aspect of economic discussion, and that is economic development. What are the factors or what are the determinants that determine the economic development? So without delay, let us begin. As you can see on the PowerPoint screen, today I am going to explain you a total of 10 points or 10 factors or determinants of economic development, which I have divided into two categories. Some factors are economic factors and some are non-economic factors. Among the economic factors, I will explain you capital formation, condition in foreign trade, economic system, marketable surplus of agriculture, and capital output ratio. And for non-economic factors, I have picked up 5 points: human resources, law and order condition, politico-legal environment, hours for development, and finally, social and institutional factors. So let us discuss one by one. The first determinant is capital formation. The strategic role of capital in raising the level of production has traditionally been acknowledged in economics. With the development of growth economics and post-World War II period, its role in economic progress has been increasingly emphasized. Economists assert that lack of capital is the principal obstacle to growth, and no developmental plan will succeed unless adequate supply of capital is forthcoming. And whatever be the economic system, a country cannot hope to achieve economic progress unless a certain minimum rate of capital accumulation is realized. And another important determinant is condition in foreign trade. The classical theory of trade has been used by the economists for a long time to argue that trade between nations is always beneficial to them. In the existing context, the theory suggests that presently less developed countries should specialize in production of primary products, and as they have a comparative cost advantage in their production. The developed countries, on the other hand, have a comparative cost advantage in manufacturing, including machines and equipments, and should accordingly specialize in them. According to Brabich, leaving aside some exceptional cases, unrestricted trade results in deficits in the balance of payments in developing countries. In addition to that, the terms of trade also deteriorate vis-a-vis developed countries. These advantages of free trade generally far outweigh any advantage with respect to a more efficient allocation of resources. So we came to know that foreign trade has proved to be very beneficial to countries which has been able to set up industries in a relatively short period. Okay. Economic system also can determine or can be a determinant of the economic development. The economic system and the historical setting of a country also can decide the development prospects to a great extent. The third world countries of the present times will have to find their own path of development. They cannot hope to make much progress by adopting a laissez-faire economy. Further, these countries cannot raise necessary resources required for development either through colonial exploitation or by foreign trade. They now have only two choices before them. First, they can follow a capitalist path of development, which will require an efficient market system supported by a rational interventionist role of the state. And secondly, other choice open to them is that economic planning. The latest experiment in economic planning in China have shown impressive results. Anyway, we came to learn that economic system can also determine pace of economic development. Marketable surplus of agriculture and can also be a major determinant. Increase in agricultural production accompanied by a rise in productivity is important from the point of view of the development of a country. But what is more important is that the marketable surplus of agriculture increases. The term marketable surplus refers to the excess of output in the agricultural sector over and above what is required to allow the rural population to subsist. The importance of the marketable surplus in a developing economy emanates from the fact that the urban industrial population subsists on it. And next, capital output ratio. Capital output ratio is another important factor. Capital output ratio in an economy, it is itself determined by stage of the economic development it has already attained and judicial mix of investment pattern. Capital output ratio along with the aggregate savings ratio can determine the rate of growth and rate of economic development of a country. Next, human resources. Human resources are important for economic development. Uh, economists often see population as an obstacle to growth rather than as a factor which will assist the developmental activities. Nevertheless, man makes positive contribution to growth. Man provides labor power for production, and if in a country labor is efficient and skilled, its capacity to contribute to growth will decidedly be high. So it is an important factor or determinant of economic development. Next is law and order condition. Prevailing law and order situation in a country to a great extent can determine or affect the economic development. Proper maintenance of law and order situation are also can be helpful for an economy to attain a faster economic development. Stability, peace, protection from external aggression or attack are important factors for steady development of a country. Next is the politico-legal environment. Political or legal environment is important. Why? Because political stability, legal support for developmental activities, it has been observed that this creates a better environment for economic growth of a country. And not only that, side by side, the judicial system in a country should also be made efficient in such a manner so that it can maintain wide network to serve the course of the economic development. Another important factor is urge for development. Urge for development actually means desire to develop. Development activities is not a technical process. The pace or the rate of economic growth in any country depends to a great extent on the citizens' desire to develop. In some countries, level of consciousness is very low, and the general mass of people has accepted poverty as its fate. Then there will be little hope for development. So ultimately, it is the human enterprise, and like all human enterprise, its outcome will depend finally on the skill, quality, and attitudes of the men who undertake the initiative for development. Last but not the least, social and institutional factors are very much responsible or influential in case of economic development of a country. Mass participation in development programs is a precondition for accelerating the growth process, and however, people show interest in the development activity only when they feel that the fruits of growth will be fairly distributed. experiences from a number of countries suggest that whenever the defective social organization allows some allied groups to appropriate the benefits of growth, the general mass of people develop aptly towards the stage development programs. Under the circumstances, it is fertile to hope that masses will participate in the development projects undertaken by the state. With this, I would like to conclude this session. If you have any question, you can post to me. Thank you so much. Have a good time.